All right. January 23rd, Festival of Chimes and Lights Community Meeting, and Kathleen is starting.
Oh, good. Okay, so I just wanted to review a part of the Chimes and Lights that I think we need to take a look at for next year.
Yes.
The tent over the choirs.
Yes.
So the choirs really like the tent. Oh, here comes Bobby.
Oh, good.
The choirs really love having the tent, and it's really nice to have it. And I wasn't able to see the choirs, but were you there for when the choirs were performing?
Yes.
Did the tent work out well?
Yes.
Yeah. I think the size of the tent, it was the Chamber of Commerce's tent, and it was at the Jingle Bell Run prior to that. And so then it was my understanding that it was arranged with the city public works that they would be taking that tent across the street and setting it up for the choirs.
The 10 by 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But nobody else knew that. Like the public works did not know that. That I talked to. I mean, maybe they did and they forgot, or they just didn't.
She had arranged for that. She actually had.
Yeah. So I got some of them to help, and they wound up setting it up, but it wasn't very smooth. And getting it across the street is tricky because it was super windy, and so it was just not
a good thing.
It's not the greatest. I mean, if we could just have a tent for the choirs and have it set up, I think that would be the simplest.
Instead of trying to move something, right?
Yeah, because it was like, I thought those guys were going to blow away with it. They were like, no, we need more people, quick. Yeah, and then it was there through Tuesday, wasn't it? Yeah, so I don't know, just like having, maybe if the city could get a tent and then use their own and have Public Works set it up that morning, it would just be easier.
Gotcha.
Because I think the choirs really do need the tent.
Oh yeah, we know that they do.
Yeah, so.
It really is something. Okay, so we need to do more work on the 10 by 20 next year. And that was the Chamber's tent.
It was, yeah, and so the Public Works did take it down on Tuesday, and then they took it down to the Chamber, and the Chamber they were all very grateful that they did that, but they didn't have to come and get it or anything. But I mean, but Jingle Bell Run might borrow that tent from the Chamber, but I just think that the city, because the event goes later, and there's nobody around from Jingle Bell Run, and it's very like at the end of the run, everybody just leaves immediately, and so there isn't really a lot of help to get the tents, down and over there, because Chimes and Lights hasn't really started yet, so there are those volunteers. It's sort of like a gap time, so I think if it would just be to the city's benefit, because I wouldn't want because I was there, so I knew that they were supposed to get that there. That was why that happened, but otherwise, I don't know if it would happen.
There's a breakdown in communication.
Yeah.
Probably if you sit right there, you'll keep the sun off.
Block the sun.
Come on over here. Come
You're
on.
just special, so you get the sun in your face.
Come on,
Jingle
sweetheart.
Bell
Get
does
over here.
use it always first.
Well, this was the first year that Jingle Bell Run, I think, had used that tent from the Chamber. And they might borrow it from the Chamber again. I don't know, but I don't know.
Do we have a tent? Does the city have a tent at all?
I know for the Relay for Life, when we had the Relay for Life at the high school, we had a tent. I can double check. I don't know if it was the city's tent or if it was one of the police. But I can check. But it was one of those smaller blue.
Oh, those are
those are very nice.
Not big enough.
Yeah, I don't believe we have a bigger tent.
I mean, if the city got a 10 by 20 and then had it, even had like the City of Port Orchard put on it, that would be nice. And then you could use it for, National Night Out and like events like that too.
Quite a few different things.
Yeah.
True.
So why don't we check on that? Let's put it on our schedule that we should check for on a 10 by 20 and not have it just be for Chimes, but something that the city can use. I don't even know what a tent like that would cost. But we also need to have something to anchor it down.
Right.
Were those the ones with the buckets that had the concrete in it?
Some of them had the buckets. I think that had a few buckets. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's look into that.
Definitely.
Clearly we need it. We've got a lot of this going on. We use these things all the time, and we live in an area where we have to have cover. It
Yeah.
just has to.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Kathleen. We'll
Sure.
take care of that.
Okay.
That's a bump in the road that we'll deal with.
And other than that, I think everything went really smoothly. I wasn't able to really see much of it except because the library was so busy. We were
It
so
was-
busy.
You know, there were a lot of people.
Oh my
Very
gosh.
well attended.
Yes.
I have some photos that we can try to look at to gauge, you know, how many
Nice.
people, because we have to fill in that report. But it was amazing this year.
It was so much bigger than, I mean, well, the weather was so much better
Yeah, it
than last
was.
year,
It really was.
but yeah.
Oh, well, look at, here we have
Yeah.
another member who decided to attend today. Yay, welcome.
I decided to. I said that one time ago. As quick as I could make it.
We're just giving you a hard time, bud.
He's gonna do it. He blocked it.
Perfect. Don't thank me, I do it as a
You get a
service.
bottle of water.
Oh, I knew
That's
I'd
your
win something
reward.
today.
Well, I think that's what we'll do then, and the choirs were beautiful.
Oh, good.
Oh, the
Good.
sound was good. They were just wonderful, weren't they?
They were.
And you know how we rotate the different choirs, but having that last one,
The Kids Up Community Chorale for the sing-along, that worked good. Oh, good, I'm glad
it
that
really
worked.
worked
Okay.
very well. With them being able to lead
Yeah.
a few songs in. Maybe what we'll have to do is always have them closest to it, at least for
Mhm.
now. But you know what? They all sounded so great.
Well, they're all adults, and so they're, I mean, something like that where it has to be so coordinated with the time, I think that's probably better to have.
Then we'll switch the other ones
Yeah,
out earlier.
right.
And there may even be more interest, but
Mm-hmm.
it adds so much to have those choirs. I
Yeah,
fall in
that's
love with
really
them more
nice.
each year. I just do. It's
Well, they're
nice.
so good. too.
They really
They
are.
were really nice
Oh, they have
this
such
year.
good spirit to them.
Yeah.
You know, they're all out there so happy. Yeah, it's very cool.
Good.
All right. What time do you have to leave, Kathleen?
Let me look at my size. Should probably go in about 10 minutes or so.
Okay. All right, so taking care of that, and then we'll just schedule the choirs as before. Sheila also said something about the canopy. You know, she rents the 20 by 40, the very big
Mhm.
one. And if we are going to regularly keep that up and use that, it probably would be something for us to consider helping with that expense.
Okay.
She pays $600 for it, and she does get a discount off of that, a 15% discount. But, you know, that's something we should probably look at in our budget to contribute something towards that canopy. Because that is so nice to have up. I
Oh,
think that's
yeah,
another
because they
thing too,
use that for the
don't you?
hay rides, don't they? They line up under it for the hay rides, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes a big difference to have any kind of covering. So as we're looking at our budget, we'll try to add something in to give to them. Because I think that is something we need to have.
Definitely.
And the weights are $3 a piece, the easy weights. I'll get you a copy of this, so we can look at what would be reasonable.
Another thing that reminds me to talk about maybe going in on with Jingle Bell Run is a dumpster right
You know
there.
what? Well, you know what we were talking about, and Janine, if you could at least do a little research.
Yeah.
How, do we have a large dumpster here for the city?
I want to say we do. I think so, but I can definitely double check.
And it's
Yeah.
covered up,
Yes.
and what I'm wondering is, do we regularly fill it?
I know the janitors come every day,
Mhm.
actually every evening, and I believe each evening as she goes through, she does go out there, and then I think it's just on a regular schedule. I think waste management comes once a week, and
Yeah, I'm
Gets
just
rid of it.
wondering, if we need a whole dumpster for them, or
Mhm.
what, if Sheila could end up putting garbage into the city dumpster, I'm not sure. Because
Okay.
I don't know at that time of year if we regularly fill that full or not.
I can see if we can get hold of our janitors and really find out, because I'm not sure. I think it's down near the police department, but I can talk to her and see if she knows
I think it's a
how
covered
full it gets.
area. And that would be something that we could do kind of in kind too. If we didn't actually give money, say for the 20 by 40, perhaps the city could provide room for garbage from the event. Because that would be a huge help. I think that the garbage people didn't show up this year, and that basically a handful of people
Well,
had to take, or Sheila
we
had to
didn't
take
have
it
a
home.
dump. She's never had a dumpster, and the year before there were a lot of volunteers at the end, and they all took the garbage down to the port dumpster and used that dumpster.
I see.
But really, I think there needs to be a dumpster for like the 2 events, because people get hot chocolate, and I mean, we really noticed with all of the downtown garbage cans, they were completely overflowing by the end of Chimes and Lights, and the library garbage cans, everybody was using those in the back, and they were like, the seagulls were,
exploded.
it's just kind of a mess.
It almost becomes a health hazard at that point too.
Yeah.
Or just it blows around if there's wind, it's a mess. Well, you know what? Maybe what we should look at then, instead of, or we'll find out the value of adding an extra dumpster to the city that week of the Chimes and Lights, that the city can take care of, that covers Chimes and Lights and helps to pay back the Arthritis Foundation for the use of their tent. Maybe that would be a nice
That might
way of
be.
handling it.
Yeah, if you could have it put down, like down by the tent, kind of down there, or down in that,
How big
in
of a
that
dumpster
parking
do you
lot.
need? 10-yard?
Yeah, I
A
don't
little bit
know.
smaller, just the smallest.
Something that's not too unattractive, though. You don't really want to have a big old dumpster sitting someplace. But there may be a nice spot that we can kind of hide it. And we can be looking at
Well, they're
that.
green, just put some red on it, you're done.
A big bow.
Perfect.
It's a package.
Make it look like a big Christmas package. Ooh, what's inside?
Oh my gosh.
I think that really could be a nice exchange.
That would be good. And
You think?
I think they're about $400.
Oh,
the
they're that
dumpsters.
much?
But I'm not sure, because the city already has a contract with.
Okay,
them.
let's do research
I've
on
ordered
that.
them for
Definitely.
events.
Yep.
I'm
You have
talking
contact
a couple
waste
$100.
management.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
$225 or something like that.
Okay.
Depends on the
That's not
size,
bad.
of course.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we'll have to try to figure out what size we'll need.
Yeah.
Because I have no idea.
Okay.
One that's about this big, I forget what it is. About
Oh,
this
there
high
they are.
here is
Yeah.
about $225.
Okay.
225?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. I like that. All right. Well, that takes care of a few things. Okay. Bobby, did you have anything to add about how things were going?
I thought it was great, and the pet parade seemed to go okay. Why are you laughing?
I just love the pet parade.
I do too. Well, I've judged it so many years that it went well, I thought, who showed up. And it was organized and good. I don't know how we handle it as far as on the program, if we can eliminate that $5 cost and some way get it into the program or what, or not.
I don't know. I mean, it's not free, but then again,
It's a donation.
Jingle Bell Run isn't free either, and that's listed on the Chimes
Well,
and
maybe
Lights
we can figure
flyer.
out
So-
a way to do the pet parade and have it sponsored or something where it's just free, where we can find someone.
Mhm.
Well, it used to be that the chamber
They
managed
did,
that.
and now they don't do that
No, now it's the
anymore,
Humane
so-
Society, and they
So
need
for
some
sure, that's
money.
the new change.
Yes.
That's going to stay.
Yeah, I think it went well for them.
Yeah.
But I wonder if they could sponsor it, like what their breaking point would be on a sponsorship to where they could let it be free.
It wasn't that expensive.
Yeah, I
There
wonder
weren't
if
that
it'd be.
many.
They couldn't make more than $100 on
I
those
know.
$5
Seems like we
fees.
could find somebody that would.
Yeah,
like
that
to-
would sponsor that.
Someone
Yeah.
that loves dogs. Do you love dogs?
We know there is a city
Hey.
council member that does.
Depends on the
Right.
dog.
Oh, the dog.
But you've got a
They're
couple of
awful.
I
pets.
brought my dog down and the pet parade was going around. My dog stopped and looked at me like,
Yeah.
What
Good
about
enough to be in this
you?
thing?
Why
Come
can't
on.
we be in the pet
Yeah.
parade?
Yeah,
And
like
then there's cookies that you can.
Cookies might, one of the
Contact.
pet places.
Right, I
might-
mean, they already sponsor it. I think they sponsor it as far as like the
Donations.
swag bags for the contestants.
They had great
but-
donations.
Yeah, and the prizes, but then maybe they could just do a cash sponsorship.
I bet we could
Yeah.
get cookies or
And then
one.
it would be nice to get it back in the program.
Yes.
People like it. They
Yes.
come in
It's
the
a cool
morning.
little
When
small
is
town thing.
when is the pet parade?
Yeah.
I mean, who's in it? Are the
That was
parrots
pretty cool.
coming? This year it was bunnies. I just go, whatever.
Oh my goodness.
So I just think it's a little nice added.
Mhm. Well, everyone loves it and
I
has
know.
wanted it. It's
Yeah.
just that it changed and
I know.
asking for donations of the people
Right,
who are
I
part of it
understand.
really isn't quite what we're about.
No.
And
So
so
we-
if
I
that
think
whole
we can
sponsorship
think-
thing could be ironed out, then
Yeah.
I agree. How much could they be collecting, right?
Right. I mean, there aren't more than 50
And the
people in
road's
it.
closed anyway, and it is a time when there wasn't very many, I mean, just the spectacular,
Yeah.
but nothing was going on the road when we were on it.
So that would be something that would have to be initiated from the Humane Society, is looking for a sponsor
Right.
for that pet parade. And then
We
if
can
we're,
work on that.
We can talk, we
Yeah.
can talk to,
We can talk to,
is that loud
the Humane
enough?
Society.
or-
Somebody I wanted to get hold of for weeks.
ah,
Oh
That's
no.
different.
Never failed. Never failed.
These guys are a big pet.
Who?
Yeah.
There's
Bruce
Titus
Titus.
is big into pets. They sponsor what is it? They sponsor
We could talk to
For
Barbara
adoption of
with
pets.
marketing,
Yeah.
maybe she would, with Bruce Titus, they might.
I mean, really, like, how many pets were in it? 30?
Yeah, not more than 30
Okay.
actually.
So that's $150.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure we can figure that out.
Yeah.
okay, well, we'll do that and then we can add that back into the program.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because
That would be really
Well,
I
nice.
didn't want to lose it either. And the thing is, it shouldn't go to the last minute anymore. I mean, we
Yeah.
didn't even know. So we were told that we were gonna have the pet parade, then the chamber
Yeah.
said, no, we're not handling it, and they didn't know.
Yeah.
If they were going to be
Society-
charging.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that came very last minute,
Mhm.
so we'll deal with that earlier.
Yeah.
We'll count on it
Okay.
being in it.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Anything else about, but you said everything went well at the library?
That's great. We had over 2,000 people come in. It was
2,000.
so busy, yeah. Yeah. So it
Well,
was
that
great.
crowd swelled up. I looked out 1 minute and there was maybe 300 people, and I looked out again, there was a sea of people.
Yeah.
It was
Wow.
15, 20 minutes, and I
No.
couldn't believe it.
It's,
We had a
yeah,
very
it was
good
all
day that day.
Yeah.
We were busy all day.
It was very
I
nice.
know the movie theater was really, really busy too.
Well, that's
They had a
another
good
one. I
day.
thought-
And I think, did you
Yeah.
talk about the coloring contest? I see it on here.
I
When?
didn't talk about the coloring contest, but we had the most entries that we've ever had.
Yeah.
By a lot.
I think we did.
Yeah.
So that turned
That
out
was
good.
good. We had an original drawing by Alyssa Whittleton. It was really cute. Yeah. And all the winners came and picked up their prize bags. Like, I called one and they came in 10 minutes. They were so excited.
So we made up some cute little
Actually,
prize
I have
bags
a little
and
picture of the
that was
winner.
a good
So
one.
cute.
Yeah.
One of I think this is this was the 1 to 4-year-old category. She came in and got it right away.
Do you know another thing that we need, and maybe Kathleen, you'll be able to think of someone, we need to send some testimonials to Kitsap Bank. So
Oh, yeah.
perhaps if you can identify a winner or something from one of those, maybe
Oh,
even
sure.
this little girl. This would probably be a good little testimonial. She could be contacted.
Oh, sure.
Because they'll be taking a photo, or you can use
Yeah.
this photo and have to get permission from her. And then she just has to kind of give a little experience, a little testimony about what was so fun about Chimes and Lights.
Okay.
If we did that, and if we did maybe from the choirs, find a couple of people.
Oh, yeah.
I think
Okay.
we need, what, 2 or 3?
Yes. Yep.
We
Okay.
have to get those turned into Kitsap Bank.
Kids at Bank, yes.
Still have her contact information.
They said a minimum of 3 photographs along with shared stories of the sponsored events.
Okay,
Okay.
sounds good.
Great.
Okay, I'll be in touch with you. Thank
Okay,
you so
sounds
much.
good.
Thanks for
Bye,
coming.
Hi, Kathleen.
All right, anything else to add? No, we're good? we'll probably have more on that when we have some of our other members show up.
Sure.
Yeah, but I think it really did seem like the volunteer organizations did great. They were busy. I don't know how the chili held up, but usually they run out.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I'll have to find out more about how it was going down by the sleigh with Santa. But all of that went really smoothly. And the band members, parking down there and having them disembark down there really worked. So, as far as I know, all of that went well.
Seemed like the kids at bank with their cider and popcorn was very popular.
Uh-huh.
It was just lined up. And then they had the little band. Didn't
Yes.
they have that was good.
Okay, I think we'll skip the holiday decorations for a minute. I do want to say, since Rich is here, that I thought the coverage in the Port Orchard Independent was probably the best that I had seen in a very long time. And I loved the holiday section and the coverage in there. Leslie Kelly had a story. We got such a lot of press, and it was just the best.
Yeah, that was good.
So encouraging, and I really liked having the insert appear that weekend of the event, something that Rich had recommended. Because a lot of times we do it, depends on how that Saturday falls, you know, and everything. The insert, I mean the cover, the jacket cover, can get lost with that mountain of ads for sales right after Thanksgiving. So it seems that we had the ads in that week, or an ad, and we had the holiday guide, and then the following week, the jacket cover, which has all that information. People just grab it, and it's got the schedule and everything in it. And maybe that helped too. It's hard to identify this exactly, but it may have helped some of that. So,
Sure it did.
yeah. So you have there.
This is last year's, 2015.
Oh, you have 2015? I don't know if I brought 2016.
That's okay. It was somewhat similar.
It was very similar, yeah. But I think we'll continue that, and we got a good bang for our buck from the Port Orchard Independent. So, very happy with that.
Always good to us. Thank you, Rich.
Yes.
It was
And there
good
was
to
a
be-
follow-up
it
article
was-
even.
It was good
Yeah.
to be back this time. Things worked out that I could be around and kind of guide some of these people around a little bit.
It was good. It was good.
Okay, let's see. So, I will work with Kathleen, and I'll contact a couple of the choir leaders to see if there are some kids that maybe parents got a good photo of them at the event that we can send the testimonials on.
Definitely. That would be
I
great.
have photos from that night, but as usual, but they're
It's
not
so
high
hard,
quality
I
because,
know.
you know, they're any movement and they're kind of,
And it's so dark. Every I take a lot and then I look at them and think, well, these just didn't turn out. I need
Yeah,
a
phones
fancy.
are limited. I mean, they take decent photos,
I
but
know.
they certain lights will fuzz them out and they're not clear. So you
well,
have to
all
have
the
a little
movement,
bit
and if there's any rain, we always have a
The
little
rain
bit.
is bad.
So there's not much you
Right.
can do with that. But parents, especially if they're close up, their choir members are singing, get somebody in that front row. And I know the parents do have some, so we can
Oh,
put
yeah.
a request out, maybe from the choirs and the parents, to find a couple of people who would like to
Yeah,
be a part of the.
definitely. And
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be, you know, a long story, just something very brief, you know, saying what they thought about the experience, and that way we can get it off to kids at bank.
So it seemed like the bank wanted kind of a snapshot too of different events. We had one testimonial from the library, one from a choir member, and you know, Fathoms has all those photos with Santa. We may be able to get a little
That would
one
be
of,
perfect.
they've got
Yeah.
good photos down there.
That's true.
Yeah.
So,
Merlin
that would be
probably has
3.
them. Yeah.
And that would take care of the fulfillment.
And he was taking pictures when I
What
walked
about
up,
somebody
so.
who could, had a decent video camera that could have some kind of a video that you can put up on the city's website?
Do you have one?
No, I'm saying the city.
City should have one.
Yeah, but do you have a nice video? No, okay. Well, just,
Maybe
we do have
someone-
one that was
Something-
done by a high school student years back that's probably one of the best in capturing chimes and lights. It was so well done.
Yeah, because they teach an audio video class up at the high school.
Yeah.
That'd be a good project for some
It
students.
could be, and then you could set it up so that you
You know
could put it
what?
on the city's website
Or Olympic College.
or Olympic College,
Yeah.
but you could also put it up on your Facebook page and Instagram and things of that nature as well. And just enhance, it just kind of makes
Yeah.
your position that much more enhanced,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
public can go to that and see it. It could also be a way to maybe draw a bigger crowd.
And I know
Again,
we
and
have to
show
get-
parts of it for this up and coming year. Say you started running in November, be sure not to miss this year's Chimes and Lights.
A lot of
Branded.
times, we have to pay for that, and there's special lighting, and the last time we paid, that was a considerable amount that we had to pay.
But
for
you know, the
professional.
video classes, if you contact them early, they can use this as a project.
Yeah,
And
perhaps.
you can have all kinds of editing, you can have all kinds of great work done.
Yeah, no, OC has a
True.
new program too with that, so.
Mhm.
Merlin was taking pictures when I was up there in the front of Bruce Titus and his wife. I mean, I don't know if you want to advertise that, but it seemed like they were the guests of honor or the tree deck.
They were the tree
That
lifters.
would, he might have some great pictures because the queens were around him, and I don't know. Merlin has a great camera, so I might contact him. He might have a good picture of some kind.
And he's a photographer for Fathoms?
Yeah,
Okay.
Merlin
Gotcha.
and Sharon came to give you his phone number.
Okay. Thank you for the info. All right, and I have these kind of fuzzy shots, which can give us an idea. We can actually do a little cross-section of figuring how many people, for our report that has to be done. So we've done this before, and we've heard, that the library had over 2,000. So we can put together some of these reports, and I know the yacht club does the zip codes, so we can get a count from them, and that's how we kind of generate our numbers. But it's kind of hard to know how many people attend our event. Yeah.
It's hard to have a sign up, that's for sure. I mean, at my store, I have people registering, but it's always hard because how many come in a store, how many, it looked like there were a lot of people out in front. It's too bad we couldn't have someone out down there just clicking like they do at the ferry.
It moves too much and it's dark.
Yeah, people are mercurial, they may show up for something and not for another.
That is true.
Maybe
It's what?
500 people would come down to one event.
They got 2,000.
Oh, they had 2,000 throughout the
That was
day.
for the coloring.
Yeah, that's just for their craft thing.
They had a lot of crafts.
Right. So, we know that a crowd like that is probably at least, I'd say 3 to 5 up front. That's what you can usually guess. But we can do a little cross-section. There wasn't a drone that night. You're saying 6,000, you think? Yeah, I know, it's quite a few. And they come and go. It's...
Well, that's just it. You get a big gathering here, but you still got them strung out all the way down.
We do.
Yeah, and 30 people leave,
To the
and 40
library.
show up, and then 12
That's
go
true.
away, and 15
Yeah.
show up, and you have to take snapshot counts periodically and come up with an average crowd counting.
Because the crowd actually filled that whole area, was
Oh, yeah.
all the way
It
into
was
the
still
City
in
Hall
there.
area, down
I
the
know.
street, back into that area.
Yeah,
It was a considerable. So probably then, Rich has been doing this for quite a few years. That's 6,000-ish.
I would think, to me, that's still somewhat of a conservative number. You're not pushing it. I mean, all day long, you've got things going on between the Jingle Bell Run to what's going on at the library. By the time they get down to the parade, you've got hay rides are going to start going on. Are they still doing the cider and the hot chocolate down there?
We had everyone,
I mean,
right,
I
all of them.
remember the one night we were up over here and shooting pictures and all sorts of that and trying to get an idea. If you're over here off the landing, you can't see all the way back here, and people are all the way back over here to Kitsap Bank's parking lot, and over here in the parking lot over here. But
It was solid.
But we still found out that there was
No.
people strung out all the way from here to the park, or down to the library,
Yeah.
and down in that area. That's why I say 6,000 is somewhat a bit conservative, because it was easy to get an idea when you looked at the dimensions that was out in here. 5 easy.
Yeah, I think 5 easy's for, yeah. Yeah, so that 6,000 figure is probably pretty good. And I'll have to look back too.
Add in the
We've done
dogs
this-
and the cats.
2 bunnies, get that.
Bunnies.
Oh, those bunnies. Right. Okay,
So would that be the actual attendee estimates? About 6,000?
I think you would give a range generally, because
Is that-
that's
okay.
6,000 to 7,500,
6,000 plus, yeah, something like
probably throughout the day, because
Yeah.
some people have left and come.
that. Is this for your Altec?
The JLARC,
Information.
yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
Brandy said just to get an estimate, and when she's back in tomorrow, she said to get what we could tonight.
Is that just for the evening of the parade and the Christmas tree lighting, or is that, can you
All
get
day.
I
for the
think
day concerning the Jingle Bell Run?
I think it's all day for the chimes and lights. I honestly don't know if the Jingle Bell Run is its own separate, because I think Arthritis Foundation, they have to submit a JLARC for the Jingle Bell Run.
Can we claim Jingle Bell Run as a Chimes and Light event?
It's in the middle of it, yes.
That's what I say, it's on the brochure.
Mhm. So, and it is, people come for both.
I'm just wondering if
They
you,
Yeah.
if you have a bigger survey count there, is that a way of getting additional dollars?
Honestly, that I do not know. That's
I don't think
Brandy.
I think this is just an accounting
It's
of-
just
Yeah.
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 seeing how successful your
And the
event
projected,
is.
we don't
Okay.
really do, I mean, we don't know projected ever. That has to do with weather. It's a little different
Yeah, that's
than
true.
concerts by the bay where you can actually quantify all this.
Yeah.
You still have a lot of daylight that you can actually see people.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
And you can see the numbers on their backs.
Right. Well, and we do have, like I did with my iPhone, just take
Pan.
like this, you know. So if we can get even a cross section, we can get kind of an idea.
Yeah,
So it's just very hard. This is all really blurry, but if we get it
Yeah.
really blown up, we might be able to get a cross section.
Yeah, I think those numbers are pretty safe. I'd like to say, as 6 is conservative, getting up to about 71, 72, somewhere.
Yeah, as long as
Okay.
you know, going through the whole day.
Yeah, and then you got people that are in the movie theater watching the movies,
Yes.
and then going in and out throughout the shop, so they won't be visual. So there's always
By no
people
means are they always,
inside.
going in one cluster moving
Yeah.
around the town.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yep.
Okay.
Right, and
Yeah.
for Kathleen to service over 2,000 craft projects, that little tiny library,
Yeah.
so you get an idea. They were coming and going all the time too, because
All day.
uh-huh. It was considerable. And then our choirs alone, if you count all the people who performed.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
And all the parents
Yeah.
that came
Uh-huh.
with.
And the band.
And the bands and, yeah.
Right.
Participants, yeah.
So I think,
Yep.
you know, saying that 6,000 plus, I do think that probably that 7,071 to 7,400 probably is right in there. Seems about right for what our town holds.
Mhm.
And it was a lot more than last
Yeah.
year,
Yeah,
and that was weather.
that's true.
I do not know, I did not talk to any of the hoteliers about what they were seeing. Generally, we don't have a huge uptick in stays because this isn't exactly one of those kinds of events. But
Might do a random check with the guys down the street.
yeah, we could check with Comfort Inn and see if they noticed anything or knew. All right, do we need to do any more with that right now, do you think, Janine?
Let's see, on here it talks about attendees who traveled 50 miles or more to attend.
And you know what we do is we talk to Six Clair Inland, the yacht club, because that's where we get some zip codes.
Oh, that's right, okay.
And Terry Bontrager also said they were going to maybe be doing something with that.
Perfect.
So, but for sure the boat, the contest, the decorative boat contest, they collect the actual zip codes. So
That'll
they
give
get
us
that
an
from them.
estimate.
Yes.
Well, there's another thing is how many boaters came in to watch this.
Yeah, well, Kathy Garcia, we can contact her and find out how many moored. Okay. That counts as a stay too, when people are staying on their boats. That's
I would
another
think so,
type
yeah.
of staying
Yeah.
over.
That's right.
All right, so let's see what else. I tend to want to jump to the decorations, street decorations. We have $7,000 in the budget this year for new decorations, and I've been talking to Public Works. I took some pictures of the poles and such. And we're talking about the type of decoration that we could use. We have to purchase something to get it on sale and get the best value by the end of March. In the past, we've had the garland with looking kind of like Christmas trees. It breaks down pretty fast.
And it looks sort of old-fashioned.
There are some people that think it looks really kind of old-fashioned, that maybe it wouldn't be a bad time to switch gears a little bit.
I know, a
with our
little more
decorations.
modern. There must be something.
Well, there are plenty
Yeah.
of things. So what we've been kind of looking at, and there are some copies of these. You can take a peek at these. Port Townsend, I've been looking at these wherever I go. Port Townsend actually has big snowflakes, which I think are gorgeous looking. But they are white, and I don't know how much color matters. They stand out quite a bit, and let me get the display catalog, which shows it better. This is an old display catalog, but they still have something very, very similar. So what we have had in the past, and Public Works says, breaks down quite a bit, we have a custom-made, I think it's 50-foot or garland that goes across the street. Those are very expensive, and they don't last very well. They don't hold up well. And mainly why they don't hold up are the sockets. They get beat up a lot with a lot of wind and salt water. You know that with all of our big storms. And then, of course, in taking them down and storing them, they get damaged. So they don't really hold up that long. Today, when I was talking to them, I asked about just having lights go across the top. They said, yeah, that could work. The problem we have here is we don't know what our infrastructure is going to look like in the next years. We're talking about new lighting downtown, but for now, we have these poles, and we have to go, we're dealing with the marquee, and we have several of these kinds of poles. So they said that a side-mounted decoration could work, and I think that could be kind of pretty. They also said we could kind of keep using what we have in the way of garlands until it literally fell apart, but that we could keep adding some sort of lighting. So there are different ones, and you have the copies of those. There aren't many people here to voice an opinion, but we can get started on it. We always have one in the crowd.
You know, you have a bunch of people now. We got.
I do know. So to be considered,
I'm trying to talk
and
as early as I can.
asking for opinions. A snowflake theme is nice and bright, and you put up icicles downtown, so it would offer more light if we did something like this. But
How much does that cost someone?
it depends on the size. These run, this is from a couple of years ago, so $329, $389. It's $249 to about $389 for a big snowflake. That includes the mount. So these are rather pretty. And I thought that's something that would brighten the downtown. If anything, it's kind of dark. When you put up the icicle lights, then it brightens it. But having a little bit more light up above would be kind of nice too. Now there are some really cool garlands that go across that look like snowflakes too. And those are kind of cool. I thought that the garland seems a little dark, you know?
Oh, yeah.
All right, I didn't get a chance to see it.
Do the snowflakes, are they lit?
Yes. Yes, it's actually a light garland. And these go across and it shows up like this. What are we doing over here?
He's drawing
Trumpets? You want trumpets?
I was in New Orleans and they had their stuff, they had on their poles around a lot of places, they had these angels with the trumpets.
Yes, they do have angels with trumpets. But there's all different kinds of things. This
Yeah.
committee is working on it. What I don't think is going to work very well is this fuzzy stuff, which is called Dazzle Collection. And this is kind of what we need to get away from, I think, don't
That's
you?
the phrase and discolors over time.
Does it get kind of beaten down?
Well, it just...
It was the rage in about 1980, but
That's why it's discounted.
I saw it at a show. I was a buyer of this stuff. I saw it at a show and it went out like hotcakes.
It's
But it's
just-
over now.
Yeah,
That's what they look like now.
those are trees. So that little, that kind of, I don't know what else to call it other than kind of fuzzy.
Polyvinyl is the real durable stuff, but it's also expensive.
Well, you can get lit up things like this. These are really pretty. You know, you can get, these are like poinsettias. Here's all the different kinds of pole. We got a little schmirker over here.
Oh, there's a.
Here it is.
I haven't seen half of this. Okay.
Has the city ever considered maybe going, we're on record,
Yeah, it's
going in with POPSA and doing something really neat with the lighting? You know, just, my brain says if you had a big snowflake, it looked beautiful to have the snowflakes through the town.
Kind of like a theme
A
for our
theme,
lights
like,
and.
rather than we put the little icicles, you put the beautiful snowflakes up. I just wondered if coordinating in some way, so it, as you look, like the bank, you come into town, it's beautiful, all the colored lights, everything's lit, but you get to a point and then all you see is just our icicles. Couldn't really see across the street too well.
No, those were dark.
Yeah,
So
they were
if
pretty
we
You really
Beautiful
do.
looking.
You see them
Yeah.
during the day more, but you don't see them at night much.
No.
Mm-hmm.
So in my mind, I just thought, you know, we're talking branding, we're talking all the things about finding something special for the city. It seems like if you could just come to our city and have it all just gorgeous in lights, that's just,
Like a winter wonderland
yeah.
type.
I mean,
lights.
maybe it's a someday thing, it's a dream, I know,
Well,
but.
we have a $7,000 budget,
I
so
know, but if we could someday maybe get everyone, the chamber and POPSA together and we all put the money into it. Every year we throw our lights away. It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, you need a commercial grade, that's the problem.
So we're talking 20,000 or 30,000.
Well, I don't know, but what that would cost, but the commercial grade is, you get your better bang for your buck. They last, they're brighter, they're
It just
heavier
seems
duty.
like,
These are good, but they're consumer and they just don't have a
they
staying
only
power.
last 1 year. I'm just was
Think
thinking
about
you
the-
put $7,000. How long will it last? Will
about 5 years or so.
See, I wish we could put our money in POPSA into something that really lasted, rather than throw our $1,200 away every year.
My,
Doesn't make sense to me.
my take on this is that it's 7,000 this year, we can put some more in next year. Each group can put in more the following year. We could start out with a theme and have it just the basic, and then each year add to that, and
Good idea.
create more color,
Mhm.
but get good stuff. So you don't have the whole show the first year, but you have really good quality,
That's
right,
gonna
beautiful
last.
stuff. Next
That's
year you
good.
add another, but plan that out ahead of time. Put out a 2
Because
or
it
3
would
year
look
plan.
really nice to have snowflakes and then have something that coordinated with those snowflakes.
We won't have $7,000 every year though. This
No.
is an unusual situation where we got this money. So
Oh,
just to let you know,
that's-
that's not to be expected every year.
Oh, well,
We've
no.
been waiting a long time for it, and the last time we actually sought donations to help with the garlands and the wreaths. So, depending on, the city finances, but I would say that we can't expect to do this every year.
True.
We have other things that we have to take care of. But, how can we get the most for our money?
Mhm.
And work with the display company, Public Works, because they have to handle it and take it down. I like your idea of trying to coordinate some effort.
Well, we could still coordinate it, depending on what we pick out.
Mhm.
We'll always put up lights. I mean, I'm not saying we're not going to do that. I just thought,
There's some question about whether the marquee will still be in place in the future.
yeah, so there's so many ifs. That's
Mhm.
true.
But nothing moves that quickly in this town, so if we...
Well, we can only dream that it would move quicker.
Well, what we do know is that we have a certain amount of money and we will spend it so that we have something to replace what's really falling apart now.
Mhm.
But I did kind of want the input of the committee, I mean, not kind of. Do you like the idea of a little more color? Do you like the idea of kind of white, like the snowflakes? Do you have opinions on that? Do you want to ask your organizations what they think? We don't have a lot of time. We do need to get going on this. We have a month, really, and then we have to kind of get everything in place so that we have that order in.
And Brandy did want me to remind everybody that, and I'll double check with her, make sure I have the language right, but due to the bidding laws, we would need to get a couple quotes from different vendors.
Yes.
And so I know this is Display Sales, I think, is having a sale till the end of March on their stuff. And then she said we can contact a couple others and just have them send us quotes and information and get that and have that available for the next meeting.
Right.
But at least, going along the same lines of the kind of stuff that we're looking for.
Just make it look sharp and cool.
Well, I think if the marquee or whatever replaces the marquee has the white icicles, if that's what you plan on doing again, or maybe going to commercial grade, it'd be nice to have color to accent that.
That's
So one big monochrome white would be bright, but I don't think it'd be as attractive as something with color.
The only thing is when you come into the town, the color and all the trees, the bank goes for color, all the different. It's really sharp.
Oh, it's beautiful, but when you get around the
Yeah.
corner, you can't see that.
Yeah.
You see what's ahead of you.
True, but wouldn't, as you come around the corner, if you
a
somehow
pretty idea.
coordinated what you just saw with
Oh,
what
with
you're
what?
about
Oh, I
to
get
see,
what you're saying.
then
Some
to
white
me
pieces
it
and
would
those
stand
setting
out
stuff
so
off,
much
those
better. That's just
Yeah.
my,
Maybe what we'll need to do then is a combination of different ones. I think the poinsettias are really beautiful as far as the amount of color, with the light. That's really pretty.
now would that fit on the marquee? Would
Yeah.
that fit on, which way? On the pole?
On the pole.
So you come in, you wouldn't, would it stand out?
Maybe. Yeah, I think
So
any
it
lights
is-
will.
You can hide.
Even though it's sideways.
That's why they've got it set up on a black background at night, so,
Mhm.
yeah. I'm kind of looking what you had, some fun things that kids can notice as well.
Yeah, those are, I find those more attractive than the poinsettias.
Combination of just shapes and
Mhm.
sizes and things
See that in
like
the
that.
cities a lot.
Yeah, well, and then during the day, it's what you see. What I actually think would be really cool is, have you been to Tacoma in their uptown area? Or what do you call it?
Bellevue.
Or Bellevue or 4th in Bremerton, where they have lights all year round, those nice big lights that go
Yeah,
across the street.
Bellevue's
Mhm.
beautiful.
Wouldn't that be cool to have lights
It
going
would.
across our street the whole year round? You just keep those up. Of course, Public Works would love that.
One-
I said, that would be kept
It
up.
would be a nightmare for them.
Just one setup and one takedown at the end of its life expectancy.
Well, they just keep replacing them. And if you have those really high quality lights, it offers, I mean, it makes the whole area beautiful. It really does. So
Yeah.
that would be kind of fun to have in the future,
Yes,
to be thinking
for sure.
along the lines that way, is having that kind of thing.
Yeah, and then they will put all the utility lines under the street, and it really will look beautiful. That's my hope.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
Yes.
No,
I'm
in
just
2035.
going.
With you.
Well, we'll just keep
I think
working
it's
at
in
that.
next week's budget.
Yeah, oh, yes.
So, but does anyone, would anyone miss the garlands being this kind of plasticized green?
I will not miss it.
Like you say, I think time for a change.
It's just time.
Just
for-
even lights.
Yeah, it's time
Lights
to
really
upgrade
would
it.
look nice, and most cities have that now, and it's very pretty. So, okay, well, I think we'll kind of head along that, and Public Works was saying these do break down, and that is
Yeah.
really hard
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah.
What about the wreaths? Because we have those 4-foot wreaths that are out there now.
Uh-huh.
Did you want to move forward with keeping the wreaths or move away like we're doing with the garlands?
Well, you know what, they'll still have some life to them,
They
even
do,
if we don't
yeah.
light them up. And they've been used out in the parking lot, and so that actually
Yeah.
works.
For the-
I don't think
Yeah.
wreaths would work that well downtown. And again, I think what we're looking for is some kind of colored light display, which is a little bit easier to service and will hold up better probably with our weather and everything. So we'll just contact a couple more companies and get some quotes on that. But across the street, maybe something a little bit more like this, even with some colored light, would be nice. Very pretty in the dark. Just
think so.
Yeah, I think so too. The bows and this get really kind of heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we're on the same page. with that.
Yeah, we are.
All right.
Good.
Good. So we'll just move forward with that and getting some
Yeah.
quotes. And I think I wasn't going to have another meeting next month, but I think we'll go ahead and have one so that we can iron out some of these things.
Coordinate it.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Let's see. Right, because we could finish off the Kitsap Bank requirements. Lodging tax, what was awarded this year? Do you remember?
I think it's 7,600.
And that's all advertising.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. So that'll be a lot like what we've done in the past.
Does that work out?
It has. Yeah, it worked out well. We have a really great paper in town that gives us a bang for our buck. Some
We're
great
very
service,
lucky.
good coverage. But you know what we need is we need that paper to step up and
I was waiting for this.
it's a little more photography.
Start writing. Start
And
writing.
you know the video that's been discussed, the video, wouldn't that be great if the paper?
Do you recall, I think the first year was it Debbie that lit the tree, and we had the marching band, and we went down to the theater, and we showed one of her
Theater.
Oh, was it?
presentations.
Cedar. Oh,
Yeah.
Debbie Maycomb.
One of the people we had on hand at that time was Charlie Vermont.
Yeah.
And he was our videographer, and he played it like people were just driving up there at the theater, getting out and interviewing them and whatnot. We put it up on our website.
Like a red carpet
Yes.
kind
That thing got viewed so many times.
Yeah, it did. It really
How
did.
fun.
thing. Yeah.
But I
Back in
can
the day.
see when you've got the choirs and the music and the bands and whatnot, that would be a center attraction
Oh, yeah.
type deal on a video that would be played over and over again.
Again, it's the
Yeah.
cost, because we had it in our budget one year, we spent about between $5,000 and $6,000 for photography, which we've used over and over again. There was a video and there were photos, and there was special lighting, that was Ron Finney did that, and it was great.
Yeah.
It's expensive though.
Well,
Yeah, 10.5 months to find one that's cheap and usable.
I love your ideas.
Yeah, we'd be real open.
It's not in the budget, but
Be
you
real
know,
open if it was like.
You've got a quality
I
videographer
just
over
need to
there.
see a crack in the door somewhere.
Well, and like you say, maybe at OC,
Yeah,
if this could
that's
be
a good
made into a
idea.
project next year for one of the classes.
Well, I can't
they
help
could
for
hear.
thinking that these kids that are in these videography classes, either high school or college, I think the college guys would be more on top of some things because they're still learning. But it's kind of like they offer that as like their final exam at the end of the course.
Kind of like what they do for high school to graduate, you have to have a portfolio
Exactly.
showing
So
what you've done.
this is a project, or
Mhm.
one of a couple projects where they show, and there's different elements that have to be handled, such as sound and lighting
Editing
and all those things. So
What was that senior from the high school that did it, 7 years ago, remember that one, Bobby? And that one,
And I think
oh.
what I'm thinking is that some of
Here they were in the bakery. Oh, we have all these children making cookies in the bakery. Hi, Merry Christmas. And you got, and then the tractor rides, and it was so fun. And this, and then Debbie Newcomer says, "Oh, look forward to this time."
I can see her saying that.
And it was wonderful. And you get done watching that, and you want to go. It's so cool. So yes, actually, that is something.
Well, I
that we
think
could
probably what this does is it helps one of these students to come up with a project, because they might be stuck for an idea.
And you're gonna get a pretty big bang for your buck with a student because they're going for a grade, not a profit.
Right, well, it might be that the whole class does it because this is a pretty
Well,
big event to
that's-
cover.
That's exactly where I'm
So
going.
if they can put together what's going on at the theater.
You gotta have somebody that's actually doing the video camera, but somebody that's handling sound, and there's other deals. And then you're gonna have people that edit it.
Mhm.
They're a little more specialized than that, than the people that actually do the video itself. So
So,
sounds
yes,
like
this
a
could be
huge
fun.
group thing.
Well, and I happen to be on the Olympic College Foundation board.
Just
Oh,
was
there you
curious.
We have
So-
a contact.
Quite a few. And in fact, there are awards for different groups who come up with ideas for things. And we're going to be having one of those meetings soon. So I will
That's a great
feed this
idea.
into them. So Rich, thank you very much. I think that is a good one. And that is how our existing video was done. And I don't know, I've never seen hardly anything come close to that. That senior who did that did a remarkable job.
Wow.
Yeah. So they could view that. So yay. Okay. Love it.
Yeah.
Anything else any of you want to add? We will have to have a meeting in February.
Okay.
So that turns out to be, let's get a date on there.
Did the dance gallery do some?
They did, and you know what? I never got down there.
Yeah, I didn't either. That
But I
was
can talk
during-
to them and find out how well that went over.
Yeah. Because it seems like it's a neat thing for our town. I did notice that their windows were so fogged up, it was hard to see.
I know, they almost
You
see a little
know,
squeaky thing going on there because
I
the humidity
wish-
gets a little high.
Generating a lot of body heat.
Whatever.
The humidity factor. is-
Yeah. Well, they need a new window. Monsieur Sanapor, where are you? Put in some new
See?
windows. He does all
Down right
that.
on the corner.
Yeah, he owns that.
And I can't remember which Monday, but I know we're closed the third Monday in February, I think, for President's Day.
That's right.
That's the one that we usually meet on. The 20th, we're closed.
Mhm.
Yes, I think it's the
Last Monday
third,
I showed up. I realized what day it was.
You have to read your emails. Sir.
I do read them. I do read them.
So we have to either go for the 13th or the 27th. You know what? Let's go for the 13th to push the envelope a little bit. That way,
Is that a
Well,
Monday?
then if we
it's
have,
Monday the 13th, yeah.
if you need to get these
We've got deadlines.
offers in, you
Mhm.
know, for get a couple more to go
Okay.
on.
Yeah, let's do that. Because then we'll have more input on decorations, and we can wrap up the kids have bank requirements, and get our reporting done. Our reporting has to be done by the end of the month.
Yep, January 31st.
That's in a few days. What
Yes.
more do we need for that?
Let's see here. So it looks like right now it's overall attendance. So there's a projected section and an actual. So there's overall attendance. attendees who traveled 50 miles or more to attend, attendees who traveled from another state or country, and then attendees who stayed overnight with paid accommodations and unpaid accommodations, and then paid lodging nights.
It would pay.
It's hard.
Is this the same form that we filled out in the last year
Yes.
or two?
Yes.
I think it
believe
would pay
is.
to look at the history.
Definitely. Okay.
Yeah.
And what
See what they said.
our last year
Yeah.
was just not very well attended, but the year
Yeah.
before was better. So we can kind of compare, and I'll bet we can glean quite a bit of information from the history.
And I think last year the weather was really bad, wasn't it?
Oh, I can tell you that.
I can tell you that as I was judging the pets with water running
was
down.
just, oh, the tuba guy?
But you didn't get any goldfish in that pet block?
No goldfish, but we had parrots, and they got so wet.
And I don't know how the band members do that in that pouring rain. They just keep marching along.
I know.
Splish splat.
That was a bad one.
Yes. All right, I think we're adjourned. Thank you everyone for coming.